Each year, scientists, researchers, and everyday people make incredible discoveries, helping us to better understand the world around us. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at 3 interesting discoveries. Homeowner discovers hidden room below basement that could be part of an underground railroad. Home sweet home, we all have a special connection to what we call home in one way or another. Alexandra of Lansdowne, Pennsylvania, always felt that there was something especially unique about her house that gave it charm. And for good reason. Discovered below the basement of her house, a secret room has been unearthed that was possibly once part of the Underground Railroad. When interviewed by ABC News, Poulos summed it up in one sentence. This is such a weird, odd story. She spoke of her beloved family home with nothing but admiration. When I was a child, I would have random dreams about there being other rooms in the house. I'd look it up on dream meaning sites, and people always thought I just had a crazy imagination. The house has been in her family since 1974, and she holds it dear to her heart. However, when a house has that much history, it begins to show. Things started breaking in the house, seemingly one right after another, all of which just happened to be in the basement. First, it was an oil tank that went, and then after that, it was an old cast iron sewer pipe that just started cracking, so I had to get that replaced, she said. And then Jerry, her tenant, called me and said, "Alex, you have to come to the house because there are cracks in the walls." I always respond right away. I try to keep the house as I would want it because I still love it. As she began to fix up the basement, she remembered a story she heard from a former neighbor many years ago. There was a neighbor, an old doctor and his wife, Poulos recalled. She told my dad, "You know there's a basement under your basement." My dad just thought she was crazy or whatever. Long story short, I always had that in the back of my mind. She could not seem to shake the story and started doing some research of her own. For the past couple of weeks, I've been looking stuff up on the history of homes in the area, she stated. It was like 2 a.m. one night and I came across an article that said there was a house that's like a 5-minute drive from my house and the owners found it was linked to the Underground Railroad. They said they knew it was down there and they knew it was covered up by cement. And then I knew it. That was it. From that moment, she knew that there was something to be discovered in the home. The very next morning, she called the home repair crew that had been working on the basement. I asked him when he's digging in the basement, "Can you dig a little deeper?" And I knew he thought I was a total nut, but I explained the possible historical connection, and he wrote me back and said, "Yep, I've never encountered anything like that, but that would be really neat." Lo and behold, her suspicions were correct. She then received a call saying, "You're not going to believe this, they found it. A large hole in the basement floor that leads to a previously unknown room 14 feet below." The area surrounding the home has historically been known as an abolitionist sympathizing area, with many citizens who were either actively anti-slavery or at least sympathetic to the cause. This area was perfect grounds for potential participation in the Underground Railroad. Moving into a new house can be a life-changing experience for many. Those of us who watch too many scary movies tend to think of the spirits that could be lurking from the past, trapped in the house. But when Jerry Sanders moved into the home, he said that the moment he entered, he said he experienced something like a spirit telling him, "Don't leave me." And then he was hooked. A mysterious giant blinking object has been detected near our galaxy's center. Nothing is more mysterious and unreachable than space. Despite decades of intensive study and research, scientists have only explored about 4% of the visible universe. An estimated 25,000 light-years from Earth, astronomers have found a star that appeared to blink out of existence for several months before suddenly reappearing. This unique star was affectionately named VVV-WIT-08 and is thought to belong to a completely new class of stars altogether. This newly discovered star type is unexplainably enormous, reportedly 100 times the size of our Sun. While the blinking is thought to be caused by an unknown orbiting body that eclipses the star once every few decades. The name of the star appears to be a highly scientific smash-up of important letters. WIT actually stands for, what is this? The case of VVV-WIT-08 has baffled astronomers. Not only is this star the first of its kind, but no one can explain what exactly could be eclipsing it from sight. The most prominent theory is that this orbiting object could be a planet or even another star, surrounded by a thick, opaque disk of dust locked in an orbit around VVV-WIT-08. This theory is supported by the discovery of a few other giant stars that disappear for months or even years at a time. The most famous example is Epsilon Aurigae, a supergiant star that is nearly eclipsed for up to 730 days at a time, and another giant star known as TYC 25056721 is regularly eclipsed for a whopping 3.5 years. There are certainly more to be found, but the challenge now is in figuring out what the hidden companions are and how they came to be surrounded by disks, despite orbiting so far from the giant star, said astronomer Lee Smith of the University of Cambridge. In doing so, we might learn something new about how these kinds of systems evolve. Betelgeuse's Great Dimming event was caused by a massive dust cloud. Betelgeuse is one of the brightest and arguably the best-known star in the sky. So when this famous star began dimming dramatically in the fall of 2019, it is no surprise the world held its breath. By February 2020, it had lost almost all of its normal luminosity, and in less than a year, one of the brightest stars known to man became a dimly lit remnant of its past self. Astronomers everywhere began clamoring for the answers, and now it seems they may have solved the mystery. Betelgeuse, which constitutes the shoulder of the famous constellation Orion, is commonly described as a bloated red supergiant. It is speculated that this massive star will die in an exhibitionist-style supernova explosion sometime soon. When the supergiant began to dim, many believed that this was the beginning of the end for the star. The site was named the Great Dimming, and astronomers prepared for the supernova they thought was soon to follow. It was a welcomed shock to all space lovers alike when Betelgeuse bounced back later that year. The star was shining at its historical brightness by April 2020, and astronomers again were left with nothing but questions. World-renowned astrophysicists at the Paris Observatory and University PSL studied Betelgeuse before and during the Great Dimming, using multiple instruments installed at the European Southern Observatory's Very Large Telescope in Chile. Led by Miguel Montage, a team of highly knowledgeable scientists crafted datasets suggesting a likely answer as to what caused the Great Dimming. The research found that Betelgeuse had ejected a huge cloud of gas just a short period before the dawn of the Great Dimming. Then, in the fall of 2019, convective cooling in the star's atmosphere, along with the star's regular pulsations, dropped the temperature in the cloud's surroundings, causing the surrounding gas to condense into dust. This dust is theorized to have blocked the light of Betelgeuse to be seen from Earth. Our results confirm that the Great Dimming is not an indication of Betelgeuse's imminent explosion as a supernova. Montage and his team wrote in their finalized study, "This unprecedented discovery has opened the door to uncover some of space's most securely kept secrets. Anytime a mystery is solved, all new questions suddenly come to fruition." This exquisitely detailed study of Betelgeuse's unexpected behavior lays the groundwork for unraveling the properties of an entire population of stars, wrote astronomer Levesque. Next-generation facilities focused on monitoring stellar brightness over time or on studying the signatures of dust in the infrared spectra of stars could prove invaluable for expanding the lessons learned here. But what do you make of these new discoveries? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comments section below and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.